Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings. I'm Kendall Richardson and today I am here to discuss my thoughts and theories and speculations about the recently dropped Avengers Endgame trailer. It's been a few days now since the trailer was released. I'm just getting comfortable. And, so I've had some time to kind of go through everything, rewatch it a bunch of times. I've seen it so many times now, it's crazy. I can memorize it. I have memorized it. So I'm just, keen to dissect and just there's a lot to pick apart in this, so much to pick apart. While it's probably the most vague and just obviously raises more questions than answers kind of trailer that Marvel have ever released. It's probably the best teaser trailer in terms of just teasing a film. And a film as big as this one, you don't really want to give too much away, particularly because of the incredible amount of set photos that have leaked during the filming of Avengers Endgame over the last 12 months or more. So, which, makes me think, were they leaked on purpose? Because, Marvel's very good at keeping secrets secret, unless, you're Mark Ruffalo or Tom Holland. I love those guys. But, who knows exactly, we have a bunch of theories. We know time travel is going to happen, and I do remember me saying in my initial reaction video that the time travel is not confirmed. Well, I have, upon my deep diving, I feel like time travel has been confirmed, because, looking a lot closer at these brief scenes that we got, these brief segments from the film, I think it makes sense that there's time travel. And there's been rumours about, at the very least, a time jump. Okay, so since the events of what they are now calling the decimation, which is a very fitting, not mathematically correct, but that doesn't matter. It sounds awesome. So let's just get started. Of course, we all know the trailer opens up with Tony Stark in space, seemingly by himself, which threw me for a loop at first, because I was just like, well, why is he really just seems alone. They're really going out of their way to make him look like he's alone, but we know Nebula has to be with him, especially because we get a shot of Nebula, on the Benatar, just, looking very, very lost and mournful because, Gamora's gone, and, she seems to be touching Gamora's clothes or something, just missing her sister, It's very emotional. But Tony, of course, just breaking all our hearts, breaking everyone's hearts with, his message for Pepper, because he's convinced he's about to die. He is sure of it. He's just like, well, this part of the journey is the end, he goes out of his way to say, which is just has become the iconic quote from this trailer really now. It's the tagline that's accompanied the trailer, and it's, it's very symbolic of when he says it, what we're looking at when he says it, because the Benatar's floating through space and it's a gorgeous shot, like an aerial, reverse aerial shot, looking up, as it floats across this, beautiful galaxy of stars and gas clouds and stuff. It's just gorgeous. But the Benatar looks like, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, by the way, the one from Infinity War, the Benatar, not the Milano, in case anyone is confused, because we haven't seen that since Guardians Volume 2. So the Benatar's floating, and then it looks like a sparrow. And some people online have put together, and I wanted to mention this because I was like, that's has to be symbolic of something. And then I just happened to come across a post about it, talking about what the sparrow is as a symbol of what does it mean. Turns out it's a tattoo sailors get on them, and basically it's symbolizing when sailors see sparrows, or the symbolism of it is that it means your journey is nearing its end. And Tony is saying part of the journey is the end. So, yeah, so there's very heavy, yeah, they're really throwing this at us that it's the end of Tony Stark's story. It's Endgame. I'll get to more on the title later on. But, and then, you know, it makes me also think of the line from Age of Ultron that has really just stuck with me. That was when he says to Nick Fury, he's like, it was supposed to be the end of the path I started us on. You know, when he's talking about Ultron. So, because, you know, Tony Stark was the beginning of all of this. Really was the beginning. You know, we all know this. Iron Man was the first film. The MCU started this entire thing. So, yeah, it really makes sense that for him to bookend this series, by the time this comes out, it'll be 11 years of incredible stories and this overarching story. It would make sense if he was to bow out in some way, whether or not he's going to die or not. I feel like he will, and I feel like I'm standing by it. I said it before Infinity War. I thought, you know, he was going to die then, and then, you know, he nearly did, and it was intense. But I feel like this has got to be, it's got to be it. I don't know. There's definitely going to be some death in this one, regardless. But yeah, another question. Why are they floating through space? Why is there no hope for them? Why are they lost? You know, all we can really assume is that the Benatar was damaged during the onslaught on Titan. You know, I mean, Thanos did hurl a moon at the planet, so there's a high chance that the Benatar was, you know, like its hyperdrive or whatever it is, was damaged, so they couldn't, or its navigation system was damaged, and the technology may be too advanced for Tony Stark, you know, genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist to, you know, figure out. Who knows? He could figure it out. We don't know. And then, you know, he specifically says the word rescue, which, you know, just didn't click on it right away because it was a very generic throwaway phrase, like, you know, no chance of rescue, like it's, you know, whatever. But you know, rescue, for those, you know, diehard fans will know, is is Pepper Potts when she suits up in an Iron Man suit and she's referred to as rescue. So, you know, I think one of the theories going around now is that maybe Pepper is going to, somehow these messages Tony is sending are getting back to Earth, and she's intercepting them, and she's going to suit up and fly into deep space somehow and find him and rescue him. That's really, I think I like that theory quite a bit, because it makes sense, because you saw there's a set photo, leaked purposefully or not, who knows, there's a set photo of Gwyneth Paltrow suited up, Pepper Potts suited up as rescue, so, or we assume as rescue, and they've been teasing that for a long time anyway, so, yeah, I think that could happen. But apart from Pepper, who else could save Tony? You know, the only other people we really know that are hopefully gonna be in the movie, we know, okay. No, let me start the sentence again. So, yeah, so we know Captain Marvel's in space, and Nick Fury sent the page to her, you know, basically alerting her to whatever's going on, you know, the decimation happening, and that we need her help. So Captain Marvel could intercept the Benatar somehow on her way to Earth, I guess, if Earth is where she's headed. We don't know, we can only assume. I'm sure once we see Captain Marvel and the end credits scene, or scenes for that, I no doubt imagine we'll get some kind of look or tease there. But, you know, as a nice, I think a really, really nice and really reassuring thing would be if, like, Valkyrie and Korg and the other half of the Asgardians just happened to come upon Tony and Nebula. Like, that would be, I would love that. I would love that so much. If they put Korg in this movie and he just rocks up and she's like, hey bro, I've got a spaceship, you wanna come? Like, join in the revolution. I've got some pamphlets. I love Korg so much, he's amazing. And plus, you know, we never got any answers from Infinity War as to where he is and where Valkyrie is, and we only know that half the Asgardians were wiped out because, as is Thanos' way, you know, kill off half. balance and all that. I'm not bitter. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so moving into the aftermath of the decimation, after the scene with Tony Stark and just worrying about him. So we get a look at a bunch of quick cut images and scenes. We see Thanos very briefly, we don't see his face or anything, but you know, we see the Thanos scarecrow, which I've watched a couple of other videos. I'm not gonna say who those are, but I mean, you know, there's probably heaps online, not just the ones I watched, but you can see the scarecrow at the end of Infinity War when Thanos is walking, his back's to the camera and he's walking out to overlook the, you know, his new home in his retirement years, whatever. Screw him. You can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, you can see the scarecrow is already there. So I didn't even pick up on that. But the scarecrow, you get a full shot. It's a straight out of the comics. They've ripped that from, which is really cool. And yeah, we just see him kind of hobbling along, the gauntlet's still on and still tattered and yeah, broken. And then yeah, going back to Earth and Avengers HQ in upstate New York, and Black Widow's telling us that, you know, he succeeded. We know he succeeded. You know, he wiped out. She doesn't say, you know, 50% of humans or whatever. She's like, you know, 50% of, you know, living creatures, which is what, you know, Marvel have been saying. Kevin Feige said, or the Russos, it's like it was all living creatures, you know, animals and as well, you know. And then we get a shot of Bruce Banner looking at some, you know, holographic images. The main one is Scott Lang, of course. They don't know where he is. We know where he is, but they don't know where he is. And then Peter Parker, you know, which is just brings up the feels again, because I'm still not over that. It's been like 6 months. Not over him, you know, saying I don't want to go. Nope. I never will be. But and then there's a image of Shuri that pops up, and the image of Shuri is the biggest thing that's kind of raised the most questions, I think, in this trailer, at least for me. Like, why is she missing? What happened? Is she dust? We don't know. I don't think she is dust, mostly because A, we didn't see it on screen, and B, basically, all of the people that died, really. I mean, there was a lot of symbolism in terms of, you know, these duos losing their halves and stuff. Like, you know, Nebula lost Gamora, Thor lost Loki. There's another one. But like, if you know, if it's true, then, you know, Shuri's lost her brother. So for some reason, I really just kind of going on that. I mean, that I could be just grasping for straws, but I just feel like she hasn't dusted. We would have seen her dust. She's a major character. I mean, the last time we saw her in the movie was, you know, when Corvus Glaive came in and tried to, you know, and stopped her from, you know, doing the magic on Vision so he could get the stone out of Vision and kill him and give it to Thanos. But and then yeah, she got knocked down and stuff. That was the last time you see Shuri in the movie. So why is she missing? I mean, yeah, I guess she could be dust, but I just feel like they would have shown us that. But if, you know, she's not dust, where is she? What is she doing? Why hasn't she made her presence known to the Avengers? Yeah, there's a lot of questions. I really don't know, but it's very curious. Very, very curious indeed. What else? Oh yeah, then we get a brief look at Thor for only a couple seconds, which is, you know, also very heartbreaking to look at, because he just looks, like he's just, yeah. Man, my heart goes out to that man. Oh my god. He's been through way, way too much. I mean, there's a reason I'm wearing this shirt for this video, because he just, you know, he's my favourite, and my favourite Avenger anyway. But like, the amount of loss he's experienced, and then on top of that, just the fact that he could have stopped it and killed Thanos. We all know that's a look of survivor's guilt on his face. So yeah, I don't know. But also, one of my good friends raised a point to me. That was that shot of him is probably not at Avengers HQ. And it's probably in Wakanda. Maybe in Shuri's lab. It just doesn't look, you know, like the surroundings of you know, the Avengers HQ, really. So, and it's probably taken, you know, that shot's probably from the first, you know, 5-10 minutes of the film, you know, seeing him so dejected and stuff. Yeah, so that's that. One of the other big things, of course, in the trailer was Hawkeye finally getting to see Clint Barton on screen again, and what a way to reveal that. That was so awesome. Of course, he's now Ronin, which is just this really, you know, he's out for vengeance. He's just torn apart by, you know, the loss of his family, because clearly, you know, they're not a thing anymore. Clearly they all turned to dust, or at least, you know, I don't know, at least his kids did, because, yeah, I doubt he would do that, go off and become this, you know, different version of himself if, you know, if any of his kids were alive still. So, but who knows, could be wrong, but they're definitely dust anyway. But the question about that is the location. A lot of people say he's in Japan, and it looks very Japanese. It looks like he's probably fighting the Yakuza or something. But I don't know. It looked so much similar to me to the street from Doctor Strange in Hong Kong, outside the Hong Kong Sanctum. It just reminded me the way the lights were, you know, lining the streets with all the symbols and everything. It just I mean, I am not an expert on Asian culture, sadly, so those symbols could be Japanese and I would not be aware, but for me it just reminded me so much of the Hong Kong street. So, you know, I feel like, and if Black Widow is looking, if Natasha is looking at Clint, you know, because it clearly looks like she is, or at least he's looking back at her, at least. So, I don't know, I feel like maybe if Wong's not dust, because we don't know if Wong's dust or not either. They haven't revealed that to us, but I'd say again, probably not. You know, that she's probably been in touch with him, and then he's pointed her in the direction of Clint and in Hong Kong through the, you know, because all the sanctums are connected. So, I don't know, that's just a theory I have. What else is there? Oh yeah, the scene must be after a time jump, because there was no way in hell he's immediately doing that. I feel like that's got to be taken place however many years this time jump is happening, because there's certain scenes in this trailer that have to be in the immediate aftermath of the decimation, but there's also certain scenes in here that have to be down the track, and this is one of them. Yeah, that's him after probably a good year or two, possibly, or 6 months, who knows, it's definitely in the future. That's my call. Okay, let's talk about Steve Rogers for a second, or a couple of minutes. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about Steve Rogers. Peggy's compass makes a return. That was a really nice callback, and we all know how much Peggy means to Steve. Now, you know, I've had people point out to me this as well, and I agree. The fact that we get a shot of him looking at the compass and looking at Peggy, just, you know, could be a nod to the fact that, you know, he's looking at her for the last time before he makes a sacrifice or knows he's going to die or something. So I feel like that could be another nod connected to the whole, you know, Tony Stark and Sparrow symbolism. I think they're really, really setting up these two to go. I really do. I honestly think they're both going to be gone by the time the film is done. Whether or not that's going to be, you know, they're dead or whatever, but or how it's going to happen, like, I feel like I don't know, I feel like they're both going to die. I feel like they are. I think it's finally going to happen. It's going to be really, really, really sad. Why is the beard missing? Where is the beard? What's happened with the beard? Like, is this a significant thing, the fact that the beard's gone? Because a lot of people online, including myself, are wondering whether or not he's shaved the beard off for the impending time travel. Because, you know, set photos released showed he was, you know, in 2012 in New York. We know that this movie is going to be taking place during the Battle of New York. Like, there's going to be scenes that are going back to that moment. There's scenes of Chris Evans in that suit, you know. So who knows? Also, he's wearing the stealth suit from Winter Soldier, so do we need to go back to that point specifically? Is it something to do with the fall of Hydra, the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is there something at the Triskelion that's kept there that might have an answer to some of their problems and be able to, you know, prevent the decimation, stop Thanos? Is that what's going on? You know, it's just, yeah, it's a beard, and we're dissecting a man's beard. Like, this is the world we live in. It's fantastic. Now, oh yeah, it could be a misdirect too. Like, this whole, I think I'm just gonna leave the misdirection theory to the end. But anyway, okay, Scott Lang. Okay, our savior arrives right at the end of the trailer. Now, this is in the future, guaranteed. Okay, he has, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, in the post-credit scene, we know he got stuck in the quantum realm when the decimation happened, because Janet, Hope, and Hank all turned to dust, and he was stuck. But, you know, before he went in, of course, and I said it, I'm pretty sure I would have said it in my Ant-Man and the Wasp video, go check that out if you haven't, that, you know, she's talking about, or Janet says to Scott before he goes in, don't get sucked into a time vortex because we won't be able to save you, we won't be able to get you out. It's so obvious a hint, I think, and I feel like the only way possible he's gotten out, other than maybe Luis rescuing him, which would be hilarious if Michael Pena was in this film, oh my god, the most appropriate amount of comic relief. But I feel like, you know, that might be too much comic relief, who knows. It would be great though. But no, I think that he's escaped the quantum realm via this time vortex, and he's come out of the van, you know, however many years or however many months into the future, whatever the script is saying it is, because, you know, we don't really know. I mean, the guess people are saying is like 5 years, but I don't know if it's 5 years. I feel like it might be less. And he's come out, you know, post-decimation, the van's still on a rooftop, and he figures out what's going on, and, because, you know, it's just ridiculous, like, there's nothing there, I don't know, but you know, the thing is, though, actually, the Avengers have not said, in the prelude comic to this movie, Marvel have said that the Avengers have not told the world about Thanos and why half of everything has disappeared or died, you know. They haven't said anything, so naturally Scott won't know anything unless he gets to Avengers HQ. So he's driving from San Francisco to upstate New York to Avengers HQ, and that's how he ends up there. And that's why Steve says, is this an old recording, is this an old message? Because he's looking at Scott and they haven't seen him in a long time, and all of a sudden he's popping up looking the exact same way he did years before, or like, you know, and they think he's missing. They think he's dead because they haven't seen him in so many years. So therefore he's just like, well, this has to be an old recording, then he's dead. Like, we would have heard from him by now. So that makes total sense to me. I'm sticking by that theory. Also doesn't explain the beard thing, because if he's shaved his beard for time travel purposes, because I feel like this is how they find out about the time travel, because they let Scott in and he explains the situation, and then they're like, okay, let's use the quantum realm / time vortexes to go back through time and fix everything. Whether that's collecting the stones before Thanos does, or something we have no idea what they're doing. They're definitely going back in time. So, but the beard's already gone. So why is the beard gone before he knows about time travel? So that's why I'm like, maybe the beard doesn't matter. Who knows? I don't know. It's really interesting. It probably doesn't matter at all. Or, you know, again, misdirection. What else? What else do I need to... Okay, I'm going to finish up talking about the reveal of the title. So I'm really, really, really happy, and thank you so much, Marvel Studios, for putting the title reveal at the end the way you did. I had a feeling they were going to do it. I think a lot of us had a feeling, or at least we hoped this is what they'd do. They'd upload the trailer, not say what the movie was, just say, because it just says Avengers, when they uploaded it. So awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Because then, you know, the people who were fortunate enough to see it quicker, because then after that everyone else was just posting it and sharing around as Endgame, so there was no point. But the people like myself who kind of got to see the title as it, you know, was announced in the trailer, so such a thrilling moment. The Avengers symbol is reforming. I feel like that's very on the nose in terms of referencing our heroes reforming. I mean, we know they're coming back, like, it's so obvious, we do know, so maybe they're just like, let's just, you know, it's cool, we want to give people hope, so maybe they could just be, you know, they really could just be misdirecting us. This is just the misdirection trailer, really, that's all it is. And then Endgame, the title itself, so this was probably one of the leading title theories. A lot of people thought it was either going to be Avengers Assemble, which I didn't think so because of the whole UK title issue there. And then Avengers Annihilation, which was very hardcore, but yeah. No, Avengers Endgame is the title, so which is an obvious callback to Doctor Strange's quote, a direct foreshadowing. He's saying we're in the Endgame now. Obviously that's where they've gotten the title from, but I would also like to point out that the phrase Endgame has been said before in the MCU, back in Age of Ultron. So during the aftermath of Ultron being unleashed on the world, you know, the Avengers are having a big old discussion in Avengers Tower about, you know, what it is and how can we stop it. And then Tony basically comes clean and tells everyone, you know, that him and Bruce were trying to, you know, design an AI that would, you know, protect the world and prevent, you know, us from having to, you know, fight. We don't have to fight if we've got, you know, mechanisms in place that can defend us without having to risk our lives every single time, and or risk the lives of the planet. And you know, they get into an argument, of course, and then Tony's just like, you know, that up there, that's the end game. How are you planning on beating that? And then Steve just says, together. And Tony says, we'll lose. And then Steve says, we'll do that together too. And if that is not the biggest foreshadowing of all time, you cannot tell me otherwise. I do not care, because it's it's Marvel. This is what they do. They plant these seeds throughout this whole thing. They've been telling such a grand story. They know what they're doing. This is the biggest foreshadowing if there ever was one. And the fact that it's Tony and Steve having this discussion, like, yeah, I don't know. Again, they're going. Either both of them are going, or all the original Avengers are all going to sacrifice themselves somehow to get everyone out of the Soul World, which is one of the leading theories on where everyone that was dusted went. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out in 4 months. 4.5 months now. Crazy. I'm so glad they moved the release date forward. Thank you. But yeah, that being said, is it all just a misdirect? Do we even have any freaking idea? Really, because the amount of misdirections that have been in previous Marvel trailers is just getting ridiculous. And you know, Thor's Eye and Thor Ragnarok, and then most of the Infinity War trailer, like, you know, the first teaser and the second teaser, like, yeah, totally misdirecting. So who knows how much of this trailer is actually accurate and true? Who knows how many of these scenes are actually going to end up in the film? We'll find out. Okay, that's all I've got. Those are my theories. Those are the main theories of the internet as well as my own. I agree with all of them. But, you know, there's going to be more questions, you know, raised between now and the film's release, especially with the next trailer that will be released probably in a couple months, right before Captain Marvel comes out in March. And then we're going to get the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer soon as well. I have not read the trailer descriptions because it was shown at Brazil Comic Con last weekend, and I do not want to know, so don't comment me about that, because I will do a video on that reacting to what the hell it is, so that's going to be exciting whenever that happens. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you agree with me or disagree with me, or if you have any theories that I missed, please put them in the comments below. I would really love to hear your thoughts, and subscribe, please. And for more liking videos, share me around, do your thing. I would love it. It would be great. So I can bring you more videos just like this one. I've been a Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings.